Hello everyone and welcome to Access Channel Comics episode number 18, On and Growing. I'm your host, your boy V Banks, Corey Banks, and what is up, young world? And today we're coming at you live and very hyperactive. Never thought I'd say this, very hyperactive, emotional like John Cena. No, just kidding, John. Great talent. Today, just like every day, is a great day to be alive and a great day to be a fan in the world of entertainment. A lot is going on, as you very well know. Excuse me while I pull my chair up and make sure I don't fall off. But anyway, we're going to talk a little bit about some Arrow today, as in the Green Arrow, CW's Arrow, and talk about a couple of other things before the show wraps. But to jump right into it, let's talk about Arrow. Arrow is going on its 5th season, and it's like, wow, I remember the show began. Talks was about it back in 2011. It debuted in 2012, the same year as The Dark Knight Rises came out in theaters. I was very hyper about a Green Arrow show. A lot of people had mixed emotions about it, but I told everybody this is going to be big, and it turned out to be big. Arrow at the time was considered the best of the superhero shows out. Now, give it granted, there weren't as many as there are today, but I think if Arrow still had that same flavor, it could still be considered that. It's still one of the top shows. Arrow, in my opinion, did similar to what Iron Man did for Marvel in the cinematic movies. On TV, Arrow ushered in a new wave. Smallville had been done. You didn't have shows out like The Flash yet. Arrow really was, in a way, sometimes considered a B-list character. But to break down some terminologies, and this is all due respect to like Iron Man, Green Arrow was as popular as Iron Man was back in the day. A lot of people wanted Green Arrow. And so the show was hit. Now, popularity has waned just like it does with some shows. Well, I don't want to necessarily say popularity. It's some disliking in the show Arrow. It's a lot of changes. I do understand changes myself, but what I saw at the end of last season was a good sign. I saw the show getting back to basics. It's getting back to what it really is. Oliver Queen being focused on the mission. It's kind of like a similar trait to Batman. Some people say, well, they try to make him Batman. Understand this. In ways, he is like Batman. He is a human being, no superpowers. He is wealthy. He can finance his own stuff, but they give him different backstory. Remember, he lost those funds at one time. He still has money, but there was one time he and Black Canary sharing an apartment in Seattle, running a business and everything. So there's some changes. But Green Arrow, definitely one of my favorite superhero combos. He has some of the best issues out in the new DC Rebirth. Check them out when you get a chance. I guarantee you, you will not be disappointed. Now, going on to the show, we do have some casting coming on. A lot of new characters coming on for this season. One of the characters coming on is an actress by the name of Madison McCollin, if I'm not mistaken, or McLaughlin, how you pronounce the name. She is a very talented young actress. She did, you may recognize her, she did fill the Black Canary suit, Black Canary Jr., when Laurel had died last season, but you may recognize her for something else. She played the little girl who was going after her father, trying to rescue her father, thing for the vampires on Supernatural. She was kind of butting heads with Dean. She was like a female Dean, younger character and everything. She played on Supernatural. I think 2 or a couple more episodes, did a very good job. I like her casting. It is kind of funny that they cast her in the way that she did. I guess they didn't want to take the Black Canary name on unless she's going to go totally redeemed. But she's going to be cast as ARTEMIS. ARTEMIS is a character for many of you who may not know. Many of you may recognize her from the show going on behind me, Young Justice. Very huge fan favorite. One of the stars of the show. She came on later on as Green Arrow's protege. But to give you a little backstory of how her history traces back, actually she has something in line with Tigress. Tigress is a female character who was in the golden age of DC Comics and villain and enemy of Zatara, the magician, not musician. Zatara is the father of Zatara. Many of you may know the female magician who does magic also. Zatara has trained the likes of Batman, teaching him how to get out of stick situation and escape any situation. He is similar to Mandrake, the magician, like from Defenders of the Earth. So look him up also. We'll go over that sometime. That's a story for another time. But Tigress was the first Tigress, Zatara's enemy in the 1930s in the DC Comics Golden Age. The second Tigress, by the name of Paula Brooks, who later became, she was in the Young All-Stars, who later became a villain, and she became Huntress. That's right, there was another Huntress before Helena Bertinelli. And Paula Brooks, you may recognize her right behind me. on the animation Young Justice, she was in a wheelchair. See, she was the former Huntress. She reevaluated, she got some redemption and became more of a baby face, as they call in wrestling, a good guy. She didn't want her daughter, who became the third, in a way, Tigress, to become a villain. Although she did for a little while in the comic books, she was a part of the Injustice Society, but she got a revamp and went the way her mother wanted her to go as a good guy. She became a member later on. They revamped her for the television show Young Justice. She became a member of that team, a good guy, good female. And she became a very likable character. Now, there is another ARTEMIS in DC Comics, one of the Wonder Woman's fellow Amazons, but that's a story for another time. You want to find out about her, you can look up information on her. Also, she's on Wonder Woman's 2009 animated movies. Not sure if she's going to be in the live-action Wonder Woman movie, but I would love to see her in that, because she is a bad you-know-what. And so, anyway, ARTEMIS, the third ARTEMIS, is one of the most, probably the most recognizable. She definitely relates. She's a teenager, relating to the kids and everything. That's who Madison McLaughlin, that ARTEMIS, she's going to be playing on Arrow. She is Green Arrow's protege, new sidekick. Came in there after you saw in the storyline when Red Arrow and all the stuff happened with Roy. He really didn't trust her, and she was being considered as the mole, and actually she was not. So that's a story for another time too. I want to review some Young Justice episodes just to bring that back, because Young Justice was a very, very likable series, which as we know. But if you want to catch up on Young Justice, learn more about ARTEMIS, go to Netflix. It's streaming on Netflix. Great episodes. Check it out. I guarantee you will really like them. So that's some of the stuff going on. Also, another casting on Arrow that really sparked my interest is the casting of Chad Coleman. Chad Coleman, many of you may not know, then again, many of you may know, he is an alum of The Wire, Success on The Wire. He also is a Walking Dead alum. He played Tyrese on The Walking Dead. His character got killed off, was it earlier last season or the season before? But you know, they take those breaks to kind of mix me up. But he's been cast on Arrow, but he's going to be playing one of the big bad villains, so not sure who he's going to play. That's going to be very interesting. I'm so used to seeing him as Tyrese, but don't get it twisted. Many people got tired of his character on The Walking Dead. Some people, I want him to get killed off. He was kind of being a softie, but understand, he's also a big lovable guy. But in this, you may not want him to get killed off as fast, because he's going to be one of the big baddies. And I really feel what they're doing on Arrow. I just want them to slow down and don't take the shine off Arrow. I really want them to get back to basics, because I'm very interested to see where the season is going to go. What will be up with Diggle? Diggle is going away for a little bit, maybe. You may not see Diggle and his wife and his kids for a little bit. What's going to go on with Thea? Is she going to join Malcolm Merlin? Is she going to be laying down her bow? You know, keep in mind, ARTEMIS is coming. So will it be Green Arrow ARTEMIS versus Malcolm Merlin, the Dark Archer, and Thea Queen Speedy? That would be very interesting. So, but what I saw at the end of last season with Arrow is they're getting back to basics, and that's what they need to do. Focus on the mission. I really got tired. I got drowned out with the Felicity moments. I don't mind Felicity. Don't get it twisted. I like Felicity. She's a beautiful, strong character, but you don't want too much of it. Then they brought her mother. It kind of really became a soap opera. But I do understand changes, so I understand where they were going. So we'll see what's going on with that, and it's going to be very interesting. I definitely want to see what ARTEMIS is going to be like. ARTEMIS was one of my favorites, although the little kind of tweak of a southern accent got on my nerve in Young Justice cartoon, but she was one of my favorites in Young Justice. She was voiced by Stephanie Lemline, excuse me, on Young Justice cartoon, so who did a very fantastic job. So I definitely want to see where they're going to go with that. So put your comments at the bottom about what you think they're going to go with Arrow, things that you like about Arrow, things that you don't like, if you wanted to get back to something that they used to do. As far as the flashbacks, I heard they're not going to be getting rid of them anytime soon, so you would think they would have been done with that by now. So now, moving on forward, we're going to go over one more topic. Actually, before we do that, we're going to take a brief moment to acknowledge something. Right now, if I am not mistaken, you can digitally rent Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice Ultimate Cut, the extended edition. Check some reviews out of it last night. One of the reviews you can check out is Calling the Heroes, hosted by Chef. And you may want to check that out, and a bunch of others. I've been hearing some really good things about Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, a sigh of relief. And of course, the thing about it is this: I like Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice theatrical release, but I'm not going to deny it had its problems. There are some things I was kind of like, okay, I think something's supposed to be in place of this. Why did they cut that? So it's kind of like, I'm glad if a lot of people will pick up and buy and rent the ultimate cut, but the damper thing is you can't go back and change time. This put a damper on the theatrical release. I agree with someone that I think if they were to release this release, it probably, and I haven't seen it yet, don't get me wrong, so I kind of halfway on this, it probably would have crossed that $1 billion mark. But I've been hearing some very good things about it. It will be out on Blu-ray and DVD and rest of digital download on July 19th. So that'll be your chance. They had a release showing of it last night. A lot of people went to the theaters, checked it out, and a lot of people were impressed with it. It still has its issues in some places, but they were really good at this explains so much more of the story. And as I said a couple episodes ago, I like Ultimate Editions, theatrical cuts. I remember when standard DVD was the top release, whenever movies used to come out, I used to always buy the 2-disc special editions because you get more of it. But Lord of the Rings, those movies are already great, but the extended editions, wow, opens up a whole new world just as great. Watchmen, you got the director's cut and the Ultimate Edition, opens up a new world. Ghost Rider extended cut, Kingdom of Heaven extended cut, Daredevil director's cut. Those movies were just as great on the special edition, so it looks like Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice will fall on that line. I'm glad it is. Me personally, I haven't seen it yet, so I definitely want to see it. So I'm just like this. I'm like this. Be careful with any spoilers, anyone. You're not going to spoil it for me. I'm going to see it regardless. But I've been hearing about some of the things that's in it, and I'm like, wow, why did they cut that? But I want to wait to see it first to really say, why did they cut that? So just to let you know, you can digitally rent Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice right now, and it'll be coming out on Blu-ray and DVD July 19th. I heard they even got in that package 104K or something released. Wow. Anything to make more money, I guess. But now, shifting gears, we're going to talk about a little something, just a little brief topic about professional wrestling, the WWE. As I said, this show is not limited to just superheroes and comic books. We do talk about other forms of entertainment. And I'm going to go with WWE for a little bit. I'm a huge long-time fan of the WWE back when they were the WWF. When they changed the name to WWE, they had to because of legal rights with the wildlife organization years ago, back in 2002. Didn't really like the fact they had to change the name, because to me it's always WWF, but I do respect that they had to change the WWE. There was this thing they did. There were some other changes that came along in that year. In 2002, they did the first ever WWE draft. What happened was, in 2001, a lot of stars started getting signed to the WWE. At this time, this was when Stone Cold Steve Austin was the biggest name in the business. Also, The Rock. It was shortly after in building up towards one of the best WrestleManias ever, WrestleMania 17. Austin Rock brought the house down in there, arguably, and I think their best match ever. Austin walked away as the winner, the champion. Check that out. You'll see how they're done. Austin's very unpredictable. They started signing a lot of other talent from different other wrestlings like ECW and all that stuff. It was great to see, but the only issue with that is this: they really got too much talent under one roof, and a lot of people they weren't really able to get screen time, so they had to split the brands. You had a Raw brand and a SmackDown brand that had always been around, but everybody was under one roof still on both shows. But this time they was like, this is Raw, this is SmackDown. They split the brands. So think about it as in the NBA, you got Eastern Conference, Western Conference. NFL, the NFC, the AFC. Major League Baseball, I don't know tons about baseball, but it's the National League, American League, I think. You got there are different conferences. That's how it became in WWE. Raw, and you got SmackDown. I didn't like it really. I wanted everybody on one roof, but I understood it. So that's a different thing. The only thing that bothered me after a while about it, that I never liked about it, I hope they do not do it this time. That's the reason I'm bringing this topic. They had 2 world heavyweight champions. I never liked that idea. And this is why. This is professional wrestling. Whether you call it fake, whether you call it staged. Same thing in the acting business. In the Oscar Awards, there is only one best actor. There is only one best supporting actor. You have it for the males, you have it for the females. So you don't be like, okay, we got two best supporting actors, Al Pacino or Robert De Niro. We got two best actors, Christian Bale and Ben Affleck. No, it comes down to one. That's how you prove who the best is. In the NBA, you got one world championship team, and that is now the Miami Heat. They're the best of the best. Whoever wins the Eastern Conference Championship in the NBA playoffs, and who has won the Western Conference Championship, that's who's going to face the Miami Heat if Miami makes it back to the NBA Finals, or whoever the other team is, and is going to battle out to there's only one world champion. That's how we saw it between the Warriors and the Heat this year. The Heat came out on top. Football the same. One Super Bowl champion, one world champion. Baseball, one World Series champion. Wrestling is different. Don't get me wrong. But there should only be one World Heavyweight Champion in the WWE. Now, what they did at first, before they had two World Heavyweight Champions, the World Heavyweight Champion at the time of the first split, I'm trying to remember, it was 2002. It was either three names I'm thinking of. Hulk Hogan, The Undertaker, or Triple H. I want to say it was Triple H. Ric Flair was running Raw then. Ric Flair said the World Heavyweight Champion, or Vince McMahon said, would get to be on both shows. That's fair. Because the reason why this is fair is this. I don't think it'll wear the World Heavyweight Champion out. One, it's more money. They're already making more money. It will bring more fans in and say, great. Raw got to see the World Heavyweight Champion. We on SmackDown get to see it too, and vice versa. They don't have to wrestle every time they're on the show. They can make appearances. The only disadvantage if you say no to that is, so like, for example, right now Dean Ambrose is the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Dean gets drafted on Raw. He just stays on Raw. But then there is no World Heavyweight Champion on SmackDown. Dean doesn't show up on SmackDown to defend his title or give anybody a shot. They may have the U.S. champion over there. They may have another champion over there, the women's champion. But that's it. What are these other guys going to battle for? That's the disadvantage. My solution to that's when you let, say like Dean Ambrose, if they would do it right now, Dean Ambrose can go to both shows. As long as you don't wear him out. They did that. You remember Brock Lesnar was the last one that got to do that. But Paul Heyman said, my client wants to go over to SmackDown, just where you're going to stay or whatever. So that's when they brought out the World Heavyweight Championship, and Triple H had got it, handed to him by Eric Bischoff. I never liked that. I'm like this. You're running WWE, you let the World Heavyweight Champion says this. No loopholes or anything. You're the World Heavyweight Champion. You're the best in the business, or you're the top guy. You're going to be on both shows. Now, that doesn't mean you got to wrestle on both shows every week. I want to give you some sometimes you may have to make appearances. Some weeks you will wrestle on both shows. Or sometimes you don't always have to make it a total appearance all the time. But you will be contracted to go on both shows. To me, that's better because it has one World Heavyweight Champion. You're really proving you're the best. At the Royal Rumble, on the road to WrestleMania, whoever wins that Royal Rumble, traditionally, they would get to face that World Heavyweight Champion, whoever the champion is at the time of WrestleMania. And the way they did it when they had the two World Heavyweight Champions after a while, this is what they did. Whoever won the Royal Rumble, they got to choose which World Heavyweight Champion they wanted to battle. That was fair, but I still say one World Heavyweight Champion, that's what I want. That draft is coming up. I don't watch wrestling as faithfully as I used to, but I do watch certain things. There's been some big discussions. SummerSlam is not too far. It's around the corner. Brock Lesnar has already said that he has a match on the card. Look very forward, interested in seeing Brock back and see what he would do. Brock Lesnar is a part-timer. There's been a lot of talk about other wrestlers coming back in part-time who used to be with the company. Kurt Angle is the top name they're talking about. I do want Kurt to come back to WWE and have one last run there. Maybe win a world title or two. Maybe have one more last match between he and Lesnar. I think Angle can have a lot of the younger talent also. I would love to see Jeff Hardy come back, but then again, maybe not. Jeff is not in the shape that he once was. But it would be great in a way to see him come back. There's been talk of Goldberg. Goldberg is pushing 50. Don't know how that'll work out. He may have one or two matches left in him. They may could do something big between him and Ryback. I don't know. But the way Ryback has been, I just don't know. It's certain things that you want to see. Or maybe turn Roman Reigns heel and he brings someone like a Goldberg in. You know, since Roman thinks he has a spear, we know Goldberg has the ultimate spear. I would say he and Rhino had the best spears in wrestling history with that the Rhino Gore. I enjoyed Edges also, but Goldberg and Rhino is also just so big. But talk about other wrestlers coming back. A wrestler who has not left the WWE but has not been seen in a while. One of the biggest stars in the history of professional wrestling WWE, future Hall of Famer Randy Orton, is talks to be returning back around SummerSlam. They're going to kind of coast him in. Orton may start out in some tag matches and start out a little bit slow and work his way back up. Keep in mind, Orton is still young. He's a veteran, been in the WWE, I want to say since 2001. Really doesn't have anything else left to prove. At this stage, you'll start seeing like him and guys like him and Cena. They'll still be like the two biggest names. They may put some other talent over who needs a chance if they're worthy. But this is when you start seeing wrestlers not on the decline, but they start putting younger talent over. It's normal. It's natural. Because they're going to be turning those keys over to the future of the business one day. So that's what they do. But I think Orton still got some good years left in him. Cena may also. Cena has been kind of looking. Keep in mind, Cena's come back, but he's kind of been looking a little on the kind of still recovering side. So that's probably why he hasn't been wrestling that long. So you got to understand that these guys are getting older. I know Brock Lesnar is around my age. I think AJ Styles also. Both of those are class of '96, like myself. So these guys go part-time now. AJ Styles is full-time. So you'll start seeing some more of that. So we'll see where it goes with the draft. I'm hoping they keep it at one World Heavyweight Champion. And you got the split. We'll see where that goes. We'll see where it goes to SummerSlam. Put your comments at the bottom on your thoughts about that, whether you like the draft, whether you don't like the draft. Click the subscribe button if you like this video. Also, remember to follow me. You can follow me at Twitter at the link at the bottom. Also, Access Channel Comments is unlimited on Facebook. You can also go to our Facebook page. Also, it also guides you towards there. So a lot more stuff coming from Access Channel Comics. And we'll see you next time on the next episode. And remember, be good to yourself, be good to others. And always remember this, please. There are many, there are few, but there are none like you. Peace.